Welcome to the Bad Broadcast. I'm your host, Maddie. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of the Bad Broadcast. My name is Maddie Murphy West. Thank you so much for being here today. I listened to the New Heights episode today. I actually really haven't ever listened to New Heights. I obviously watched the Taylor episode, and then they had Leonardo DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro on for their new movie. Which is called I think it's called One Battle After Another. It's the new Paul Thomas Anderson, who, by the way, is married to Maya Rudolph. I don't know if everybody knew that. I learned that a couple years ago. Really blew my mind that, like, at the same time Maya was doing SNL, like, PTA was writing There Will Be Blood. Pretty crazy. Anyway, not important. But I was listening to the New Heights episode, and the first, like, hour, I don't know if this is how all of the episodes are, but the first hour is, like, all football recap of, like, the last week. And I listened to the whole thing at the gym, and then I finished and I was like, why did I listen to that? It was like maybe 30 minutes of Leonardo DiCaprio. And I walked away from that and I was like, yeah, I mean, the Eagles did the four-man. It's not a traditional blitz. It's got four men. Why did I do that? I'm actually really embracing football season this year. We didn't end up doing like a Bad Broadcast fantasy league, which I did want to do, but you know, I gotta be honest with what I can take on right now. And so I didn't do it, but I still am liking it. I'm liking the snacks. You guys know I like the snacks of it. I'm liking the coziness. I'm liking the faint, what's the word? Ambiance of of Joe Buck's voice in the background. So yeah, anyway, I don't know why that was the very first thing I said. It was just because I just barely finished the episode. You know what else I listened to was the new Good Hang with Amy Poehler. I listened to what's her name? Regina Hall. And she was delightful. And Regina Hall is one of those actresses that, like, you know her. Like, if you saw her, you would recognize her. She's been in a million different things, but you maybe didn't know her name. Like, you couldn't point her out and be like, that's Regina Hall. She's very talented. And it was a really funny episode. I'm just loving Amy Poehler's podcast just in general. And like, I felt like I wasn't being a hater, but I was kind of like, do we need it? Another celebrity podcast? I mean, I feel like Dax Shepard alone has burned me out on celebrity podcasts. I know a lot of people love Smartless. There's like a lot of comedians with podcasts that people really love, but I just wasn't into it. And then I started listening to Amy's, and wow, Olivia Colman's episode, it was so, after watching Olivia Colman and Aubrey Plaza's, I was like, how do I make these women my person? Like, how do I become them? How do I make my personality like Aubrey Plaza's, like Olivia Colman's? Like, I needed to do a full factory reset on who I am as a person after watching Olivia Colman. She's so good in everything. In Fleabag, in The Bear, underrated role that she has in The Bear. But anyway, if you haven't listened to Amy Poehler's podcast, once you're done with mine, head on over to hers. Maybe we'll collab one day. I'm sure I'm exactly what Amy Poehler is looking to have on her podcast. All right. Today's episode, we're chatting. We're going to chat. I mean, let's just talk about Dancing with the Stars. We'll get it out of the way. I won't do like a full rundown like I did last week, every single week, but I thought last night's show was great. You know who was really tearing at my heartstrings? Andy Richter. I almost couldn't even get through his dance because I was like, I'm going to cry. Which, like, I don't associate him as like this sweet, tender, you know, chubby old man. Like, I kind of thought he was like a little bit like abrasive, like kind of inappropriate, whatever. But no, he seems like a sweetie, and I was glad that he went through. Corey Feldman was the one who got, I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched last week's, I'm sure you have, but Corey Feldman and Jenna were, I almost said kicked off the show. Same with Britt and Barron. I mean, it should have been Hillary. Her name's Hillary. Should have been Hillary and Gleb. I saw on there's an account that I follow that it's like celebrity statistics. Like, it just talks about the numbers of everything. And it went through all of the Dancing with the Stars, cast members and how their followings changed the first week. Gleb was the only one to lose followers. He lost over 1,000 followers. Everybody else was like growing like crazy except Gleb. And Gleb's vibes are weird. And so are Hillary's, obviously. If you guys aren't caught up on the Hilaria deal, I mean, we all know she's been faking that she's from Spain. She's literally from Boston. She's not Spanish. She used to vacation in Spain and then she like adopted this persona. She's been faking this accent, faking how to not understand English. And it's actually so entertaining. And I love her commitment to the bit. But yeah, Jenna was paired with Corey Feldman, who's a creep. And I don't know how he got on the show. Like, I feel like why didn't we do like a little background check on Corey Feldman? If you don't know, I mean, he had been very vocal about himself and his abuse from his childhood in Hollywood, all of that. But then let's see, here's what it says about his controversies and allegations. He got older and then he started something called Corey's Angels. Feldman created a music management entity called Corey's Angels, promoting women as part of a group and having some level of creative and control involvement. Several former Angels and associates have accused Feldman of sexual harassment, abuse, and taking advantage of them. In 2020, SAG-AFTRA, the Actors Union, issued a resolution removing Feldman from a sexual harassment committee after allegations came forward, stating there were formal complaints to law enforcement, including the LAPD, and investigations ongoing. How'd he get the job? Like, I understand sometimes you got to fill in a last minute spot. Like Lauren was, I think, a last minute hire, but like there's got to be more mid-range celebrities wanting to do Dancing with the Stars other than Corey Feldman. Like, I don't know, felt very weird. I heard about that. And then like the fact that he's with Jenna, I don't know, just weird. I didn't like it for him. So glad he's gone. I'm excited for next week. Whitney killing it. Jen did amazing. Dylan, Robert, like, it's once we get to like the top 8, it's going to be banger after banger after banger. And I'm so excited. So anyway, loved that. So today's topic, well, I guess we don't really have a topic. We're chatting. You guys submitted a bunch of questions and I was going to answer them on Instagram, and then they were good. They were juicy. They were chit chat worthy. And I just almost knocked my camera over. And sometimes I can articulate better when I'm speaking, and I'm trying to write more. You guys know I did. I went on or maybe I talked about that on the Patreon. I went on like a creative journey that lasted about 3 days because it got hard and then I didn't want to do it. But I'm trying to write more. I just have ambitions. Okay. I have ambitions. And yesterday was my anniversary and we talked all day about like what our future is going to look like and I don't know. It's hard as a mom not to whip out that card, but it's hard to know. This is like the daily thing that I think about all the time is like, am I meant to be a mom and I don't even want to say just that, like, is that going to be my primary role? Or do I have like a creative dream outside of what I'm currently doing that I just haven't found yet? And that's like, I go back and forth with that all the time. And I don't know. And I think the answer is I'm going to do it all and I'm going to be it all. So why was I even talking about that? Okay, let's go on. You guys submitted a lot. Oh, because I haven't been like writing the questions on Instagram because I like to talk about it and I like to elaborate and I like to say what I mean. And sometimes it gets lost in translation when I'm writing. One day I'm going to be a really good writer and then, I'll write a novel or something. Okay, let's just dive into I'm under caffeinated, I'm over medicated, and I'm underhydrated, and I'm honestly over rested. Like, I am the type of person that I think the more I sleep, the better I'm going to feel good. The better I'm going to feel good, the better I'm going to feel. And it's just not the case. I think I need 7.5 hours. I think that is my like ideal sleep. If I can get 7.5 hours, then I'm rolling. If I get like 9, like Coco was sick last week, so she was sleeping until 8, and I was like, this is amazing. And then I was so tired. I think I need to hit that sweet spot. I mean, I'm trying to listen to my Aura Ring. I got some feedback on the Aura Ring because I had made a joke about like, I don't care if they have my information. And I think it's not a joke. I think it's not good. I think them having our information, probably not good, especially women, especially like our cycle. Like, I don't think it's great. I don't fully understand it, but I was just trying to be silly, goofy. And then a couple people reached out and they were very kind, but they were like, Maddie, it's not like that funny. It's not really like a ha ha type thing. And so I'm sorry about that I made a joke on it. Okay, let's get into the questions that you guys asked me. These were asked to me last week. It's a lot of church stuff, which has been on my mind a lot because we have had so many like Utah things in the news, some positive and some not so positive, but a lot of people, like, I'm seeing an uptick in people making content about Utah, about Mormonism. So I thought we could talk a lot about that today. A lot of the questions that I got were about that. And the first question that I got, and this was the one most asked in my anonymous box last week, because I had posted that Gray and I went to a church thing for my nephew, and like that, and I like was talking about the actual high, which it is a high, of going to church and then coming home and changing into your comfortable clothes, getting a snack, watching a movie, taking a nap. Like, there's nothing like it. And I got to experience that for the first time in so long. And anyway, so I posted a picture of us like sitting in the church, and I got a bunch of people like wondering if I was going back or like why I was there. And let's talk about it, shall we? So the question coming up the most was, how was it being back at a church? And was it fine or was it triggering? Okay, how do I phrase this? I don't find it triggering, to be honest. There are certain things that I do find triggering, like some phrasing or some teachings, and like being actually back in a church building didn't feel triggering to me. Especially because I was there with my family. Like, the way I feel about leaving the church is that was like, that took up so much of my time. The church took up so much of my life when I was in it. And then deconstructing was so intense. I thought about it all the time. And now I feel like the more I give of myself, the more time the church gets of mine, like the more it claims of me. And so I feel like I've put in a lot of effort to like protect myself from that. And like, if the feelings come up, I obviously deal with them, but I also am like, I can bully myself and gaslight myself really, really easily. Like when what was I bullying myself about? Oh, I was overthinking something because I had a medical situation pop up and I thought if I fixate on it for 4 days, that will make it better, and it really won't. But I was trying to get out of this overthinking loop, and I just kept saying, like, I kind of would just lightly bully myself. Be like, seriously? Like, you're still doing this? Like how a firm but kind best friend would do. Really? We're still going to be fixating on this. So that's kind of what I do with the church. Like, I don't really let that happen because I don't like the way it feels. Caveat, I struggle with being the perfect ex-Mormon. I'm doing quotes if you're not watching on YouTube, the perfect ex-Mormon. Like, I'm not highly triggered. I don't speak ill of the church. I don't like, and I think that a large part of that comes from my people-pleasing tendencies. It comes from a lot of conditioning from the church that I shouldn't, speak ill of it or say anything bad. I have an intense pressure to be the perfect ex-Mormon. And I actually have had people message me and be like, you're just so great because you're never rude about the church and you've just let it go. And most ex-Mormons just can't leave it alone. They leave the church, but they can't leave it alone, which I think is not fair. I mean, it's if they grew up in the church and they had their experience, they have every right, every reason to talk about their experience in it. And we just have to. I saw a comparison one time. I can't remember who said this. I can't remember, but honestly, maybe it was me. It wasn't me. It might have been. I don't know. Sometimes I say things on the podcast and I'm like, I think about it and I think somebody else said it. Anyway, but I'm pretty sure it was a video, and somebody said, pretend that you love potato chips. Okay. They're like your favorite food in the world. If somebody comes up to you and they say, I hate potato chips, you're like, okay, that's okay. Because I'm not a potato chip. I'm not one of them. I just love them. And it's okay with me if you don't, because that's not you insulting who I am at my core. And I need us to start employing that with religion. I mean, I think a lot of people, especially lately, there's been a lot of discourse about religion, about Christianity, about a million different things. The revival, the rapture. The rapture was supposed to happen on my anniversary, by the way. Thank God it didn't. Or sorry, should I not say that about that? Anyway, rapture was scheduled, as it typically is every few years. You know, the rapture is certain to happen, certain to come. I don't know how to phrase that. It's certain. It's impending, and every single religion in the history of time has always said that they know when the end of the world is going to be, or the rapture, or the second coming, or whatever you think it's going to be. Everybody's always predicted it. And so far, 0% of them have been right. So the rapture was supposed to happen. And, people are saying, oh, there's a revival there's just a lot being talked about with religion right now. And I myself am not into organized religion on a fundamental level. I will never go back to a organized religion. I won't encourage my kids to be a part of an organized religion. I'm not trying to pull people out of it, but it's a very firm no from me ever. And I don't know. I just feel like there's this miscommunication that if you practice a religion, it is who you are. And it's not. It's just a thing you believe. So it's okay if people don't like it or don't agree with it. That doesn't mean that they don't like you as a person. You're not a potato chip. Okay. I'm sure we'll come back to church stuff. But next question. My favorite show currently. My favorite show right now. Well, there's a new episode of Great British Bake Off coming every single week. Why don't they just release the whole season at once? Why? We are getting mixed up on what shows need to be released all at once and what shows need to be released weekly. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, weekly. It should have been weekly. Great British Bake Off, give me all the episodes. Why do I have to wait 10 weeks to watch the entire thing? It's just, it's asinine. Oh, I remember something I was going to say. I was going to talk about, a few things. I'm recording this, let's see, September 24th. September 24th. So next week, a week from tomorrow, we will get Life of a Showgirl. I would like to do a full episode on Life of a Showgirl. However, that will take up one of our October episodes for Boot Broadcast, which I'm honestly fine with. I got a review that said, Maddie, stop apologizing for talking about what you want to talk about. And I'm trying to take that to heart. So I will be doing a full breakdown probably in a couple weeks, but Boot Broadcast is starting. So I will post that on my story. So you guys, sorry, I had an itch. So you guys can start submitting your spooky stories. And one of the episodes, of course, will be with Lucy coming on, doing a Too Scary Didn't Watch. So we've got that. And then I posted that I'm having an internal struggle because track 5, which is infamously always the most sad song on every single Taylor Swift album. Track 5 is the gut punch. This track 5 is called Eldest Daughter. And I am the youngest in my family. However, I'm the only girl. So I am technically the eldest daughter in my family. And so I wanted to know, I crowdsourced. I wanted to see if I qualify as an eldest daughter because I would like to know what level of connection can I have with this new track 5. Let me tell you, the people who were the most mad about it, they were all eldest daughters. It was all the eldest daughters saying, somebody messaged me and they said, you're not an eldest daughter because eldest daughters know who they are. Okay. Well, according to the internet, the firstborn daughter is the eldest daughter. And a lot of people were like, well, you couldn't have been parentified because you were the youngest. Do you want to bet? Do you want to bet? Do you want to, I guess it depends on family dynamics, but in my case, definitely something I experienced. And I just feel eldest daughter in my bones. I feel like I am typically the one, running things. I'm stepping in. I'm emotionally supporting certain things. I feel eldest daughter coded. And so I'm going to accept it. And I felt bullied by the eldest daughter community, but that's okay. I understand you guys we've been through a lot. Us in the community, obviously, we've been through a lot. So I get it, but I'm considering myself that. So yeah, eldest daughter, track 5 will be hurting me, but be on the lookout for that. So if it comes out Thursday, I'll have to wait till Tuesday, the 3rd. Let's see, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Wait, if the 3rd is a Friday, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I'll have to record the 8th, which means it'll be like the 12th episode, or the episode coming out on October 12th, whatever that day is. 11th, 12th, 13th is the 13th. I'm going to be at Disneyland. Okay. This is really scattered. It was really, really off the rails. Okay. Somebody asked if my husband is ex-Mormon. Yeah. But much lighter. It's like ex-Mormon light because his family left when he was a kid. So I don't know if it really counts, but I guess I'll count it. Okay. How do I convince my friends who left my faith that I don't think any less of them? I do feel that typically there's a wall between actively religious and ex-religious people. And I have felt the dissolution of that wall with my close friends and family who are still actively practicing. It was a really wordy way to say that I feel like there's a wall for some time until you can really have some honest conversations about it. And I think that coming from an ex-Mormon perspective, it's hard to feel like, okay, this is going to ruffle some feathers, but I'm going to say it. It's hard to feel like active Mormons can see where you're coming from and understand you and empathize with you, because if they did, then it wouldn't make sense that they were staying in the church. That's how it feels to me. Like I don't feel judged or seen differently or whatever, but I feel like there's always a level of not super understanding where I'm coming from, because if you understood where I was coming from, then you would be where I am. And so that can be hard on relationships. However, I feel like my relationships with people who are active in the church have actually gotten better in a lot of ways, because I do feel like a more honest version of myself. And the way that my Mormon siblings have talked to me about it is they don't. And we don't sit and talk about it and debate about it, and nothing revolves around that. It's not a huge part of our relationship or our conversations. It's about everything else. It's like when I talk to my siblings, we're talking about memories and inside jokes and music and movies and, trips and sending pictures and talking about our kids. Like, we're talking about a million different things. But the reason I think that the reason I go, and this is going back to that question about me going to church stuff and how people feel, or people ask me how I feel about it. I just have decided that if I want people to accept me for how I'm living and how I believe, then I have to be willing to do that as well. And that means celebrating things that are important to them, even though they don't make a lot of sense to me now. I still am there and I'm showing up and I'm supporting because I recognize that it's important to them. So if I want them to show up for important things for me, then I have to do that too, which is obviously the number one pillar of any friendship is if you want a village, then you got to be a villager. Hello. Okay. Switching gears a little bit. My next favorite topic, motherhood, breastfeeding, postpartum. For your next baby, do you think you want to try breastfeeding again? Or are you happy to just go do formula from the get-go? You guys all know, I've talked about it the last couple weeks. We are trying to conceive, not sharing any other details on that because honestly, there's actually nothing else to share. So yeah, it's definitely on my mind, and I think that I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go, but I'm not gonna give it much of a go if it's not going from the go. If I don't like it for the first 2 weeks, I'm not sticking with it. Sorry. I'm not in the business of sticking things out anymore. I will give it my best effort. Of course, if the next baby takes to it, if it works, wonderful. I'll be so thrilled. But if it's not in the cards, it's not in the cards. And Coco was so great on formula. She turned into a different baby. She was happier. She gained weight. She slept better. Our bond was better. Everything was better when I went to formula. So I'll probably embrace that a little quicker than I did with Coco. Okay. How are you doing? I feel like everyone is on edge since Wednesday. I feel a shift. I felt the shift, of course. How could you not feel the shift? a lot of weirdness, a lot of do I even I mean we don't have to get it. I'm not going to get into it. That's not my wheelhouse. That's not my area of expertise. Okay, if you want to talk about ex-Mormonism and boobies, then I can help you out, but if you want to talk about like some serious heavy political stuff, I mean, do I have my opinions, my feelings? Sure. My main one, I don't like guns, never have, never will, always made me uncomfortable. Don't want them in my house, didn't grow up with them, don't understand them. They're not ever going to resonate with me in any way, and I'm never going to understand that argument. Always am on the team of how can the most people be safe and happy? That's my goal with any opinion that I have. And like, I feel, okay, I know you guys get me. And I think that a lot of you guys are on this same page because so many times people will ask me like my political beliefs or like where I stand on something. And all I want to do is just be like, well, I'm normal. Like, what do you mean? Like, no, I don't think that people should die for no reason. Like, I'm normal. Like, I don't think that places that are supposed to be safe should be unsafe. Like, what do you mean? Like, how I'm not clocking. It's not clocking to you guys that I'm standing on normal. Okay, like I am. I don't think that when people get cancer, they should go into crippling debt and not be able to get the treatment that they want because they're going to die and they're going to leave their family with $5 million of debt. Like, because I'm normal. What are we missing here? So anyway, again, it's not my area. I am just a normal average person who wants people to be safe, happy, and fed. Call me crazy, call me radical, I guess. Like it's the craziest thing to me. But anyway, I do hope you're all taking care of yourselves in the sense that that means putting your phone down for at least extended periods of time. I know that the news and the never ending news cycle is unavoidable. Like we have to just embrace that that's the place that we are, but we have to put our phones down. Like I had a really long, like almost meditation yesterday about like, I need to put this thing down. I'm toying with the idea of an Instagram break. I'm toying with the idea. Okay, I'm not guaranteeing it, but like I kind of am thinking about taking the app off my phone just maybe till the end of the year, or maybe we do a 6-month break. I don't know, because it's just, I feel the life force that I once had, it's draining from me slowly but surely. And I just don't think I can handle that anymore. So maybe it's like I delete Instagram and I focus on whatever, TikTok or YouTube, or I show up. Obviously, I'm not going to stop doing the podcast just because I deleted Instagram, but I just don't think we were meant to hear this many people's opinions. I think we were meant to hear 4. I think we were meant to hear 4 opinions total on anything. And you know what? That quota, mine's filled. I have 4 opinions that I hear on things that I trust. And you know what I'm also trying to do? I'm trying to not exist in an echo chamber. I mean, I still like my echo chamber. I do. It's pretty snuggly. It's warm. I'm comfortable. But I've been trying to not scroll when I see something that I immediately disagree with. Not something stupid. Okay? Like I see stupid stuff and I roll my eyes. I'm scrolling. But when I see something that is a well thought out, put together point that maybe I haven't thought about, I'm sticking around. And I will be trying to get a little more uncomfortable in the future, because I think that when we have an opinion and we have everybody around us confirming that opinion, it's very comfortable. Love it. Live, laugh, love that. Excuse me. But I think that in order to grow as a person, we need to be, listening to things that make us a little uncomfortable. I told you guys that I listened to that video. Or wait, did I tell you guys that girl made a video about why she chose not to have kids? And she was like, don't ask me why I'm not having kids unless you are ready to get your feelings hurt, because here's all the reasons I'm not having kids. And at first I was a little up in arms. I was like, hello, that's not how having kids is. And then I was like, you know what? I need to be uncomfortable with this, and I need to change my mind, and I need to embrace that maybe my way of doing things is not the best, and it's not the only way. Shocked and disgusted, honestly, to learn that my decisions are not universally the best. Okay, another gear switch. Here we go. The top 5 movies you'd like to watch in the fall, or you like to watch in the fall. I wish I could say When Harry Met Sally, but I've never actually seen it. You guys gave me shit for this when we did our first Chick Flick Madness in March of 2020. Can you believe that was podcast that we did that? But you guys were teasing me about it because I had never seen it, and you guys are all obsessed with it, so you love it. And I know it's like such a great fall movie. So it's on my list for this fall, but let me hit you with my top 5 fall movies. Practical Magic. Duh. Good Will Hunting. Such a good like Boston academia movie. We watched Dead Poet Society last year, and it's incredibly sad, but it was really good. Um can I say Halloween Town? I'm going to say Halloween Town, which is unironically like one of my favorite movies of all time. Like I'm not like, "Oh, it's so silly." Like no, I love it deeply. I mean, Harry Potter's on there, Twilight's on there, Lord of the Rings is on there. I mean, the big ones. We're in the marathon months, as you guys know. September was for Twilight, October Harry Potter, November is for Lord of the Rings, and then September or December is for Star Wars. But okay, movies. Now I'm getting caught up. I love Coco, the Pixar movie, for obvious reasons. I love that. I love Devil Wears Prada in the fall. I love Let me go to I actually have an October movie list that I posted that you guys, October watch list. Hello. Oh, can I spell? Watch list. Okay, so, Scooby-Doo is good. Sleepy Hollow, Disturbia, Knives Out is a real, okay, now I'm just going off the rails and I'm just talking about the Shutter Island, Hocus Pocus, a classic. Return to Oz. If you guys haven't seen Return to Oz, don't show your kids. It traumatized that and Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. It's the base of all my fear is those two movies. Haunted Mansion. We actually watched Haunted Mansion the other day. Okay, Tower of Terror with Kristen Dunst is on YouTube. A lot of you guys asked me about that. It's like a made for TV movie. It's so old. Tower of Terror is so good. Beetlejuice is good. But yeah, I think I hit 5. I think I hit about 15 actually. I'll post my October watch list again so you guys can have it because you guys were asking me about that. Okay, so there's some of my fall movies. Now, what's my next question? How do you balance female friendships in your life? I'm finding it a bit tricky to know when friends are expecting too much versus when I'm not being supportive enough. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, but you got to find somebody whose language is the same as yours, whose expectations are the same as yours, and who communicates in the same way that you do. Because when people say like, how do you balance your friendships? I realize that I'm not actually actively trying to balance my friendships. They're in a homeostasis. They're not actively needing tending to. They're integrated and woven into my daily life. So I'm not always trying to think, oh, I need to put effort here and there because for my language, I mean, texting and group chatting and maybe like, we've done monthly Zoom calls or book club or bigger conversations like where we're whatever, but like a little text here or there, like Marco Polo, that's my language. So it doesn't actively feel like I'm balancing. And I think that's how you know you're at a balanced place when you don't feel like you're juggling your friendships. Okay. What influencer do you feel you resonate with most? Here's something about me. I don't know a whole lot of influencers. I know the big ones. I know the big guys, the top dogs. I know of Rachel Parcell. I know Cara Lauren. I know Amber Fillerup. Love Amber, by the way. Miss her. Love Cara. And I'm trying to think of like influencers. You know who I really love? I love Nora McInerney, who is Nora Borealis on Instagram. I love her. She's probably an influencer that I like actually follow on purpose, love their recommendations, like love her. Not like, oh, I just am following her because she's popular or famous or whatever. Like I fell in love with her as a person. She talks a lot about grief. She got married and then had a son and then her husband died and now she's remarried and she talks a lot about that. And she also has a podcast called Terrible Thanks for Asking. And I really like her. So she counts. I don't know if she would accept that I called her my favorite influencer. But she's up there. Okay. I'm scrolling through my stories of influencers. Okay. I've talked about her before. Rayanne Langas, RAEANNLANGAS. She's like probably the only like person that I follow for like outfit inspiration, like confidence, like really love her vibe. Like I follow Alex Earl and I love Alex Earl, but I wouldn't say I resonate. I wouldn't say I resonate with Alex Earl. Um, I feel like those are my answers. Like, yeah, I follow Hannah Berner, but oh, you know what? Here's my favorite influencer. And I've actually had her on the podcast before, and she has a podcast with Dear Media, Pia Baroncini. I don't I resonate is tough. Like we've lived very different lives, but I feel very inspired by her and I consume her content voraciously. And then the other influencers that I love are always going to be like women that I know and connect with, like JC Marie Smith. I mean, how do you not follow her and love everything she does? And guess what? She's even better in person. Not to brag, but she is a delight in person. Like truly probably one of the funniest people that I've ever been around. Like funny to the point of like where I don't even want to speak in her presence because I need her to continue talking because I'm gonna be giggling. Okay. All right, next one. Are you nervous for your event? So many people are going to be there. Well, it's gonna be small. I actually, okay, and I got this one that said, I don't think you actually even had tickets for your event. I think you gave them all to your friends and family, and you wanted us to think that you had some for sale. And that's why you sold out in under 1 minute. You know what? You're just going to have to wait and see who goes to the event because guess what? They bought tickets. Did I have 5 to give to friends? Yeah. Are the other ones purchased by y'all? Yes. And what a weird thing to lie about. Why would I lie about that? Why would I not just say, we're doing an event. Look how cool with our friends and family. Why would I even like there would be no point in faking it? But no, I'm not nervous for it. And it's happening next week. And I've quite literally never been so excited for anything in my life. I have my outfit. It's got feathers. It's to the floor. I've got my witchy boots on. I'm going to wear my hair big and crazy and curly. Might even throw on a horn rimmed glasses and a cross necklace. I'm so excited to cosplay a sexy 90s slutty little undercover witch. So yeah, I'm excited for it to sum up or to answer your question. Okay, another church question. Would you ever let Coco go to girls camp or young women's activities even though you're not LDS anymore? So for those of you that don't, oh gosh, I just kicked my camera again. For those of you that don't know, yeah, girls camp is like, I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's not the podcast from my dear friend Haley, but girls camp is something that we did growing up. When you turn 12, you go into a program at church called Young Women's, and they do like weekly activities and they do like a week-long camping thing in the summer. And so this person's asking me, would I let Coco go to that? And yeah, I think I would. Not at church, but if like they were doing a weekly activity or she wanted to go up to girls camp, I've said before that like I would probably like even volunteer to go. Like I would want to be there. I don't know. I think that I wish that that was more encouraged within hyper religious communities to include people who aren't practicing or aren't a part of it without doing it under the guise of bringing them back in. Like I would love to volunteer with the young women's and have them over at my house and, you know, teach them how to cook or whatever. But like, I know that I'm not really going to be thought of or welcome in that position because I can't actively teach them about the church. And that makes me, I mean, not sad, but I'm kind of like, oh man, like I wish I could do that. It'd be so fun if like all the neighborhood girls could come over and we could do like, we could make bracelets or we could like, that's what I always grew up doing. And like, I'm probably not ever going to be asked to do that. This sounds way sadder than I actually feel like I'm okay. But I do think if like Coco wanted to go do something like that, then I would probably want to volunteer with her and do it. Not to like supervise or like make sure nothing was said, but just to be a part of it with her. I think that'd be fun. Okay. Next one. I thought this one was funny. I knew your first marriage was weird when you said you guys didn't do gifts. You know what? You're right. I had a lot of people message me when I was married the first time being like, I had a dream that you guys got divorced. And I was like, that's so weird and inappropriate to message people. And now I look back and I'm like, they were right. They knew. The no gifts was weird. I didn't get like a gift from a significant other until, I shouldn't say never. Like I had gotten a couple things from like boyfriends and stuff, but like I don't think I ever got, well, I know that I never got like a Christmas, like multiple gifts for Christmas from a partner until like Christmas 2023. Like that was like the first time that I like had presents under the tree for me, which again sounds way sadder than I actually feel, but yeah, that was weird. That was weird. Okay. Next one. Is it dumb to give up on a guy that could be the love of my life solely because of our very, very different political views? I me personally, Maddie, all on my own, not projecting this on anyone, I couldn't make it work personally. Not like slightly different. I mean, I think that a healthy amount of disagreement is good and positive, and it keeps each other talking. And I really, really love having those conversations in my marriage when like I can bring something to the table that he hasn't thought of and vice versa. And I actually, I had one of the best conversations I've ever had with a friend. 2 or 3 weeks ago, we sat down and we were talking about just some political things that we disagreed about. And it was the greatest conversation I've ever had. Like I left that and I didn't like win or like I wasn't right the entire time and that's not why I liked it. It was just it felt so gratifying and incredible to like sit and have a conversation about all of these topics that everybody's fighting about and be able to explain to each other how we're feeling and to be receptive. And I left with my mind changed and I know that she did too. And it was just like the most incredible human experience ever. And so I think that having those discussions with friends and family, loved ones, partners, great. I also think that there's kind of a baseline of a type of person that I think that I will get along with and that I feel safe around, understood by, like that all of that. And that baseline has to be there. If the baseline wasn't there, then I couldn't do it. All the minutia, the little details here and there, yeah, we can work it out. If baseline, like I said, my main goal is that everybody is safe, fed, what I say? Safe, happy, fed, whatever. Like that's kind of where my baseline is. If you disagree with that, like if you disagree on a fundamental level, like that anybody should be able to get married, like if that's really bothering you, then you and I are not going to be friends. Like if you spend your time thinking about how you don't want a boy to marry a boy and that takes up room in your brain, you and I are not going to be friends ever. And speaking of that, I had somebody send me a list of gay Pixar characters. And let me just scroll down. I gotta look up who sent this. I believe. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Gay Pixar. I want to say her name is. Why is it not coming up? Hold on. I'm searching my messages. Pixar? Maybe it won't do it because I put gay in there. You know how Google like won't autofill your response if you put like gay or vagina or something in there? Like I was looking up stuff about my cycle and I put up like ovulation or intercourse and it's like, and it won't do it. Okay. Here we go. Pixar characters. I want to say her name was Chelsea, but now I don't feel like that's true. And I'm so sorry, but I need to tell you guys her complete list of gay Pixar characters. Here we go. She told me, she said, Bullseye, gay. Wheezy, gay. Monsters University, Randall, gay for Mike. Monsters University, Sully, gay for Mike. Luigi, gay, never been lovers with Guido. Guido, gay, but never been lovers with Luigi, obviously. Sally, possibly gay. Remy, gay. Wally, pansexual. Ken, gay. Lotso, angry, closeted, gay. Alberto, gay for Luca. Luca, gay. I mean, we knew that Luca was like the gayest Pixar of all time. And Wade, gay. So there's our completed list. And if you are offended by gay people, first of all, don't listen to my podcast. Second of all, we're not going to be friends. Okay. Next one. Which one is worse, the Kelsey breakup or the Nina breakup? Kelsey Ballerini and Chase Stokes broke up, and then Nina Dobrev and Shaun White broke up. Completely blindsided by both. I think that the one that hurt the most was the Kelsey and Chase one because I loved Kelsey's divorce album. I mean, if you got divorced in 2022 and you had rolling up the welcome mat ready for you on Spotify, like you truly lived. And that was sad. And then she had that song to the boys who love girls after heartbreak, or to the men who love women after heartbreak. Like that was sweet. I feel sad about it. Don't you think I feel bad? I feel sad. Nina and Shaun White. I've heard some things about Shaun White, albeit on Dumois, but heard some things that I think is kind of skeezy. So I'm not super sad about that, but I do feel bad for Kelsey and Chase. All right. My sweeties, my sweet, sweet sweeties. Love you. Love you so much. I hope you guys have a great week. And remember, Life of a Showgirl comes out Thursday night. If you're in Utah, it comes out Thursday night at 10. Nope. Yep. At 10. midnight East Coast, 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Mountain, and 9 p.m. Why am I for Pacific? Jesus Louises. So it's coming out. Prepare for a full breakdown on the podcast. Remember to head to my stories if you want to submit a booed broadcast, a spooky story, a haunted story, something true, crimey, not too crimey. Like, don't have anything with kids in the stories, please. But something spooky. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for hearing me out, for seeing me, for loving me, for supporting me, and for being, above all, normal. So I will see you next week. Remember to be safe, be kind, be hot. I love you so much. Bye.